Okay, Outlander fans, we're here today to talk about whether season two, which was way better than season one, a lot of people agree, whether that can get in at the Golden Globes, just like season one last year got in. And Rob, you wanted to remind everyone about, Gold
Yeah.
Derby's predictions last year, right?
Yeah. So we had Outlander predicted in drama series. We had Katrina Balfe predicted, and we actually also had Sam Heughan predicted. And we received a lot of flack for that. A lot of people said we were just baiting, trying to get traffic, trying to play up to the Outlander fans, and we were not being serious. Well, guess what? We were right.
Yeah.
We'll write 2 out of 3, and we missed Tobias Menzies because that was a complete shock because it's such a competitive category. It's a catch-all category from like TV movies and drama series and whatever. And the fact that he got in was amazing. But Trina Balfe got nominated and Outlander got nominated. Gold Derby was really the only major player to predict that. And so I think we should be very proud of that. And so now we should be talking about what's going to happen going forward. And everyone should be listening to us because I think we have a pretty good idea.
Right. And the Globes, Amanda, they love to nominate something one year, even sometimes they give it the win, but then the next year they forget about it and they move on to something new. Could that happen to Outlander? Are they going to move on, or is season two, is it going to be nominated?
I think season two should be nominated. For me, and I know this might be not held in high regard, I think season two is a lot better than season one because the characters were more established. They were really playing with trying to change history. Sam Mendes' character knew what was going on with Katrina Balfe, and I really believe it could be one of those times where it was nominated the first year, and we've seen that before, where shows and actors have been nominated the first year, and then it takes a year for them to catch up with winning. Because she did lose to Taraji P. Henson, who had a lot of buzz around playing Cookie.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted Katrina Balfe to win, but I did go with Taraji P. Henson because I think when you just are such a, dynamic character, they sometimes tend to go towards that. But Katrina Balfe was amazing last season. And if you want to if you're not a fan of the show, I would recommend watching episode 7, which is Faith, because she lost her child and it is so heartbreaking, this entire episode. And she is really the showcase of it.
Yeah. And I mean, not just her, but Sam was really good. And Sam, I thought, I hate to admit when I'm wrong, but I was wrong last year. I thought he would get in at the Globes. I think a lot of people were kind of convinced he would get in a Gold Derby. Elsewhere, like Rob said, a lot of people thought we were wrong for even predicting Outlander would get in. But I thought they would, they love to nominate a show and the actor and the actress. They always do that with Homeland. I think Empire did it too with Terrence Howard, right? They love.
He wasn't in. He didn't.
Oh, he wasn't. Okay, so I take that
They
back.
do it a lot. You're right. They do it often.
Yeah. Do you think he's getting in, Sam?
I think he has a better chance this year, although I don't know why when someone's as popular as he is, I get the slap the stud, but I don't really usually think that applies to the Globes as much.
Mm.
But I think, and I know this is going to make everyone crazy, you could have made the argument in season 1 that maybe he was a little bit on the border of supporting because
That's
it
true.
was so much. And I know that makes everyone crazy, but just take a deep breath.
It's true.
It was so much about how Katrina was in the 40s and then was transformed transformed back in time and was trying to cope with this.
Yeah.
So I think it was one of those where he was probably leading towards the lead, but if he really wanted to, he could have made the case for supporting. But I think this year he is absolutely her equal.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a really competitive category.
Well, here's the thing, unlike the Emmy, with the Emmys, we always argue, okay, what spots are vacant from the year before? Because the Emmys do love to repeat themselves, and that's not a criticism. Generally speaking, a lot of, especially in the lead actor category, you've got people who are just consistently good every season and should be rewarded for that. At the Golden Globes, they tend to go for what they like. If they really like someone in a particular role, they'll nominate them over and over again. They've done that for Liev Schreiber. They've done that, I think, for John Hamm a couple of times. And so, although he missed out 2 years running. So, they come back and forth to people. And this year, we could see a return of Wagner Moura or Bob Odenkirk or Rami Malek. Even Liev Schreiber could come back. But some of them could just be out because they do just tend to pick and choose who they like. And I would also remind you guys that, they loved The Affair in its first year and nominated the 2 leads from that, but not Maura Tierney. And then the following year, they shut the show out, but they nominated Maura Tierney. And didn't she win?
Mm-hmm.
She won.
Yeah, and
it was almost like it's like the Globes were saying, we're sorry, Maura, that we snubbed you in season 1. Here's a trophy to make up for it in season 2. That could happen with Sam.
But they're paying attention. That's the thing, is that Maura Tierney was elevated in season 2 of The Affair.
That's true.
Yeah.
And so if they're paying attention, yes, they could snub the show. They could possibly snub Snam. They could possibly snub Tobias Menzies. But Katrina Balfe was incredible.
She really was. But, again, they don't necessarily look at particular episodes. And I'm not suggesting, Amanda, that you're saying that. But just thinking about the way the Hollywood foreign press works, they don't really look at particular episodes. They do look at buzz. And if they like a show, and if Starz has done a good job in getting Outlander back in front of the HFPA and getting their attention, then they'll give them some votes. And if anyone's going to get something, it's going to be Katrina, because really season 2 was really so much about her. And yes, the fans will scream and cry because they all want us to say that it's a partnership between her and Sam Heughan, and it definitely is. But season 2, a lot of that was about Katrina, and her performance was so incredible, not coming from a biased opinion at all. It just really was quite amazing that she could certainly come back again next year. And Taraji P. Henson was nominated last year. She could be back. Viola Davis could be back. Eva Green could be back, possibly, and Robin Wright might almost certainly will be back. She's been nominated the last 2 years running. But we might see people like Tatiana Maslany, who just won the Emmy. And so it is a competitive category. It's really hard to say.
And then you have all the new people coming that we don't get.
Exactly. I mean, we were talking about that before we started. The Crown and Claire Foy and so forth, they're going to be a huge contender at the Globes, right? I mean, that seems pretty obvious.
Yeah. They could win a lot. I think John Lithgow's going to win, and I think the show could win drama. But just so I'm clear, so the 5 nominees last year for Best Actress, all 5 are back. All 5 are eligible again.
Yeah.
And for the actors, 4 are back, but John Hamm, his show's not on, so John Hamm won't be back. So
Marcus, I think there's something wrong with your headphones. Just give it just stop. Okay, start talking. No, there's still something wrong with it.
Okay.
You sound like yeah, that's better.
Okay.
I think.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if they just copy all of last year's nominees, then they will have to at least replace John Hamm, and so that's where I think
Correct.
Sam has a really good shot.
I do agree, but he's going to have to get past Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
The thing about Anthony Hopkins, I love Westworld, but he's hardly in that show, and I know he is on the ballot for lead. He's in maybe 2 scenes per episode. He's not the typical lead that you see, like a John Hamm or like a Kevin Spacey, who are the past 2 winners of this category. Sam Heughan is much more of a lead.
He does fit the movie star. I mean, John Voight doesn't do anything in Ray Donovan, and he won the first season. So I think he could definitely, be formidable as far as getting in.
Yeah, you could see both. They don't repeat themselves a lot. So you might see 2 or 3 from last year back in, or maybe 1, or maybe none. It just like Kevin Spacey didn't even get nominated last year. He won the year before. So they just don't follow the rules at all. They just vote for what they like. And again, it's very important as well to remember that, because you guys have both touched on this, is they love shiny new toys. And so all the new stuff is going to be right at the forefront, because for the Golden Globes, I think the way they position themselves, it's the beginning of the year, it's halfway kind of through the season, and they are trying to position all the really good new stuff in that ballroom and on and on our TV screens as this is the stuff that we think is good, which then positions them for the Emmys and so forth for the next 6 or 8 months. And so we're going to see, so Mr. Robot got a bit of attention, and previous to that, other shows like Homeland and Kelsey Grammer in Boss, they always try to position what they think are the best things on TV. And so they may just completely overlook Outlander because they might have already said to themselves, well, we did that for Outlander. We're now going to move on to something else.
Something else like Stranger Things, maybe.
Right, exactly.
Winona Ryder could get in there, and
yeah,
Evan Rachel Wood, the female lead of Westworld, could get in there.
Yeah.
What about some of the supporting players of Outlander? I know Duncan LaCroix had a really good season, didn't he, Amanda?
Yeah, he was actually one of my favorites. We love Murtaugh.
We do.
We've done entire chats where we spend like 15, 20 minutes talking about Murtaugh, and they're like, can you guys move on, please? But we love Murtaugh, and he would actually be one of those that if they were paying attention, he had a lot more to do this season. Whereas Tobias Menzies is busy being in like every British American production and only showed up in about 3 or 4 episodes. Was it 4 or 5 episodes?
Yeah, it was something like that. And in fact, the reason I believe he got nominated for the previous season is because, especially towards the end of season 1, he had such a prominent role as Black Jack, who was torturing and raping, the hero of the show, and he had he was so prominent. Whereas in season 2, he really wasn't as prominent. I mean, he did appear in quite a few episodes, and he was very impactful. But Amanda's 100% right, which is why we always had the hashtag Everybody Loves Murtaugh, because Duncan LaCroix is a really, really great actor, and he brought so much to the show. Every time he was on the screen, he was captivating, and that would be so cool. I mean, he is a journeyman actor. A lot of people don't even know who he is, but he would be so deserving. I just don't know if the Globes tend to do that. I'm looking over their nominations, and they don't generally go with people who don't have a big name in that supporting category.
Well, they went for Chris Colfer the year after.
That's true.
But he was an Emmy nominee at that point, so.
And they do go for Brits and people from Great Britain from time to time that are kind of respected actors. So it's possible, but I think of all the supporting players, he would be one of them. And who else could be in the running from the supporting cast? I can't really think.
That would probably be it. There's not really a strong supporting actress contender.
No, not this time. So it looks like that could be it, which means maybe it's just Katrina and Sam at this point.
The toughest part in this category is they combine comedy series with drama, with movies, with miniseries. So you're going to see a bunch of the O.J. Simpson people in there, I think. John Travolta, Sterling K. Brown.
Well, if you remember, before you just put 3 of the people versus O.J. Simpson people in there, remember that after The Normal Heart, they only went with 1, and that was Matt Bomer. They didn't. They didn't run the category, so maybe don't put. I'm just saying, as someone who came in 8th last year, don't put 4 of them in there.
Right, but you think maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah, I would probably just go with Sterling K. Brown.
I also have Kit Harington in there. I think maybe the Matt Bomer effect will happen, where everyone thought, well, not everyone, but a lot of people thought Kit Harington would win the Emmy, just like a lot of people thought Matt Bomer would win. And then the Globes are kind of, I feel like when the Globes let Matt Bomer win, it was like, we thought you should have won the Emmy, so here's your Globe to make up for that. I think maybe that could
They do love
happen.
to do that. They do love to look like they're correcting the Emmys' mistakes sometimes. Yeah. So if they feel like Kit Harington should have won, that absolutely could be one of those.
What concerns me as well, I'm just thinking about the best drama actress category over the last 5 or 6 years, is that they have from time to time nominated someone from left field who they just like, who has no other awards traction, would never ever be nominated for an Emmy or a SAG. Examples being Piper Perabo in Covert Affairs. The following year, they nominated Callie Thorne in Necessary Roughness.
Those were huge.
Shockers. And I remember at the time, they were people that I personally were really, really rooting for and had interviewed for Gold Derby and was, making a lot of noise about them being really worthy. And I'm not suggesting that I had any impact at all. I'm just saying that people like me who watch a lot of TV recognize them as being really deserving, but they just weren't in the awards conversation. What worries me is that we could have seen the similar type thing for Katrina, Tobias, and Outlander, just being really well liked with rabid fan bases, where people who watch TV were saying that they were really deserving but didn't have any awards traction elsewhere, and maybe their time in the sun has come and gone, and the Globes have moved on because they're not going to get anything out of bringing Outlander back to the party. And that worries me.
We
Well,
should
I
also
think
keep.
they want media attention. So, sorry, but they do want press. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
Glee won 2 years in a row, and they got a lot of press for that. Outlander would bring them a lot of press, so that might
True.
benefit from that. Having Katrina Balfe on the red carpet, having Sam Mendes on the red carpet, having those types of people there, whether they feel like they're going to get anything out of it or not, would at least give them attention. And that's what they ultimately want sometimes when we see Lady Gaga win.
Yeah.
If they, and I am not saying at all that these people are compared to her, but it would give them the attention they're looking for.
Right. Maybe
Yeah,
Sam and Katrina can host the Golden Globes next year. That would bring them so much attention.
Yeah.
We should keep
So-
in mind, like, there's only 80 or 90 voters. So it takes a very, very small number of voters to
Yeah.
actually
15
nominate a
maybe.
show.
If there's 15 fans in that group from Poland and Czech Republic and Somalia, they might actually get another nomination. So who
And
knows?
Scotland.
In Scotland, exactly. But just thinking about the big one, the drama series race, which Mr. Robot won last year over Empire, Game of Thrones, Narcos, and Outlander. What do either of you have our odds on your screen? Like, where is Outlander placed in terms of those shows that could come back, or the new ones like The Crown that might actually just take over?
Outlander is currently at 7-1, and it's in 6th place, right behind This Is Us.
Right. Okay. I think I don't know about it. Yeah, This Is Us that's a very likely scenario because it's new and it's critically acclaimed. I don't actually really love it as much as others do, but I can see why that would make it in. So that could be another worry for Outlander, something like that.
Right. And This Is Us I think it would be the only, looking at my screen, the only nominee from a network show, because it looks like our odds are saying Empire is not coming back in Best
It's
Drama.
out.
Mm-mm.
Okay. And what about Mr. Robot? Is that still in the running as far as we're concerned?
Yeah, I think it's still in the running.
Right. And then Stranger Things, The Crown, Westworld. We have a lot of new shows getting
There's
in.
new stuff. There you go.
And
a lot
Game
of
of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. And Narcos doesn't appear to have any buzz like it did last year. I think that was an anomaly.
I think it was such an international show that they kind of just went for it, but they didn't get any awards attention anywhere else.
Right.
Yeah. Wow, there you go. Well, so Outlander's not completely out, I think, well, pardon the pun, but I think that, I hope that the Hollywood Foreign Press have seen it and that stars have, held whatever event needs to happen or was going to happen, because it really, season 2 was absolutely 100% an improvement on an already excellent season 1, and it really deserves to be in the conversation. And I hope it just continues so that it might get some Emmy traction finally next year.
Right.
Yeah, and unlike the Emmys, Starz doesn't seem to have a problem at the Golden Globes with Kim.
No, that's right. That's right.
All right, guys, thank you for watching, and we look forward to the nominations next month. Follow Gold Derby. Make your own predictions. If you think we're wrong, show us, put your money where your mouth is, and try to beat us in predicting these very tricky Golden Globe nominations. Thank you.